expand your mind, Guardian.
Hey, at least try to make it sound fun, or they won't come back. You're killing me, Three Eyes.
I would love to kill you. Light and dark have met in the Sol system before. Perhaps this time, you'll change the outcome.
shows Shinji Mikami, the designer of Disney's Aladdin and Goof Troop on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, no joke. Who would have thought that the designer of Goof Troop would go on to create one of the most iconic horror series ever made? In '96, Resident Evil came out. The game revolutionized the horror gaming genre, even going as far as coining the term survival horror. The series is still going strong today, spawning a shit ton of sequels, as well as a movie that also spawned a shit ton of sequels. But today, I want to focus mainly on the PlayStation 1 era of Resident Evil. The game's focused less on all-out combat and more on conserving your items. This adds a lot of tension because if you run out of ammo, you're fucked. This is where the survival part of the genre comes in. It's about escaping rather than fighting. The controls take a lot of time getting used to. I've referred to them in the past as tank controls because pushing up makes you move forward no matter what direction you're facing. Pair this with the camera angles and it's real disorienting. I fucking hated the tank controls, but looking back on it, it did nothing to hurt Resident Evil's legacy. One thing I find funny is at the end of every game, you trigger a self-destruct timer. It's like they couldn't come up with any more ideas how to end the games, so they just rehashed the ending of the first one. After making the first 3 games for the PlayStation, Capcom set its eyes on the new systems that were on the horizon. From here on out, Resident Evil was going next gen. Except for one last game on the PlayStation, Resident Evil Survivor. The game came out in 2000. By then, a real Resident Evil sequel called Code Veronica had already hit the Dreamcast. Not to mention, the PlayStation 2 was only a few months away. So basically, this game is kicking the PlayStation while it's already down. Mainly in the balls. This game is... Hear that? Hey, who are you guys? And why are you in my yard? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey! Come here!
Wow, what an asshole.
Jill, run for that house!
Yeah, fuck that. I'm going home. You see that shit? Well, I guess I gotta explain. The Umbrella Corporation, they moved in next door, set up a secret lab, and now there's monsters and stuff, and I don't know what to do. Well, I guess I'll pop in the disc, play some Resident Evil Survivor, have a pint, and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried ass? So here we are, Resident Evil Survivor, the turd of the series. The unplanned turd when Capcom shit their PlayStation pants beyond any hope of cleaning. So bad they had to throw it away. The game starts with a wall of text that takes forever to scroll. Even the narrator doesn't have the patience to wait for it. He reads most of it before it even hits the screen.
Wipe out the entire city. However, this was not the only location where an outbreak occurred.
Then the cutscene starts, and man is it ugly. Just look at the intros for Resident Evil 2. At the time, these looked great, and this came out 2 years before. So this guy's seen hanging from a helicopter, falls off, and the copter crashes. Then that same helicopter shits another guy out. Seriously, look at this. The helicopter's on fire, and this dude just shoots out like a turd with an explosive fart behind it. And there's your main character, Helicopter Diarrhea. What a lame character. He looks generic, and his clothes are that particular shade of mold-covered shit green. Man, how many times can I talk about shit before I even played the damn game? So the game starts, and it's in first person, which seems like it would be awesome. Yeah, a first-person Resident Evil game sounds like a great idea on paper. Too bad it's on toilet paper. You know, I've probably talked about shit more times than I've actually shit. But it's a fact that when they wrote down the idea for this game, they wrote it on toilet paper. Toilet paper that was already used. All right, let's get on with this. The main problem is they kept the controls of the other games. Also, to fight, you have to hold down R1 and move a cursor on your target. The game was originally made as a light gun shooter with GunCon support, but that might have made the game somewhat decent, and that's obviously not what they were going for here. You run into an alley and fight the first zombie, and it's awful. You shoot him 4 times, he falls awkwardly and shits a key out. Seriously, look at it. It comes out of his ass. You know, I'm starting to notice a trend here. The zombie shits out a key, the helicopter shits out the main character, and Capcom shit out this game. After you pick up the key, you choose between 3 doors. Each one brings you to a different location. This place, some kind of movie theater. Here you come to your first puzzle, if you even call it that. In the older games, you had to solve puzzles to find certain items and open new paths. Some were easy, like pushing blocks to make a bridge, but others you'd have to use a little more thought, like pushing buttons in the correct order to find an item. Resident Evil Survivor, however, just has you find an item in the same room and use it. Here you find some film and put it in the projector. Afterwards, you run back to the theater, and there's a key for no reason. So you get the key and leave the theater. Then you encounter some zombie dogs and a ringing phone. The phone hang up? How about the fucking game turn off? At this point, the game starts throwing a variety of enemies at you, but you always face one type at a time. There's a mix of monsters from the first 3 games, like these jumping lizard guys called hunters, giant spiders, birds, and lickers. Yeah, that's their name because they have a giant tongue they lick you with. Real clever. Sometimes you run into this big asshole. At first I thought he was the boss, but he's so easy and he shows up a lot. At one point you're walking in this dark cave or something and there's like 10 of them. They give you ammo when you kill them by shitting it out, of course. The same guy shows up in Resident Evil 2, but there he's scary. He stalks you all throughout the second scenario. He even transforms in the end and becomes the final boss. But here, he just walks around like he's lost and lets you shoot him. Seriously, I kill every one of these guys and barely ever take a hit. So anyway, I head into this library and there's this tiny bald guy who calls you Vincent. He tells you that this is all your fault and then he runs away. I sense a twist. It turns out that the little guy is the janitor of the fucking sewer and he actually lives down there. You find this out by reading his diary that's just left on a desk. Dear Diarrhea, I'm the biggest fucking loser in the whole world! Through reading it, you also discover the main character is the evil Vincent, a high-ranking member of the Umbrella Corporation and the man responsible for the outbreak. What a twist!
I am Vincent. It was all my fault.
Then a kid walks in and dances like he has ghost peppers concealed in his... you know where. The character animation in this game is laughable. They all look like they're doing the robot. Even the zombies are animated like shit. When you kill them, they fall like a sack of bricks. Wow. Either there's some frames missing, or a gravity rift opens and thrusts them to the floor at the speed of light. It's hard to believe, but the voice acting is the worst of any Resident Evil. I know people joke about the first one.
What is this? Wow. What a mansion! That was too close. You were almost a jibble sandwich.
You're right.
Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella.
Enrico!
But listen to this.
Can you hear me? Who are you? What are you doing? Answer me! Umbrella. So this is where the city is controlled from.
There's a prison area with a bunch of naked zombies everywhere. Of course you find a bunch more diarrhea. This one's from a prisoner that says he was abducted by the Men in Black. Oh, does that mean Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones work for Umbrella too? After the prison, you go into this office building and get to see probably the funniest cutscene in any game ever. It starts off with a voice message from Vincent's mom.
Vincent, it's me, your mother.
My mother.
Vincent, please, listen to your mother. I want you to leave Umbrella. I want you to stop performing those terrible crimes and just come back home.
That's in the finished game. Next, you get the worst run cycle ever. Look at that. The kid runs full force and only goes like 3 feet. Was this really the best they could have done? So you chase these little bastards through a river or something, and you run into these weird vibrating giant spiders. I think they glitched, but I played through this part a couple times, and it always happens. The game I have is in near perfect condition, so my only conclusion is they're meant to just vibrate. After that, you get to the kid's house. There's some items here, including herbs. I forgot to mention that herbs are the method of healing in the Resident Evil series. The programmers of this game should have smoked less herbs. You can combine herbs together if you have an hour of free time. Just look at this. I picked up a red herb and I want to combine it with the green herb to make a full heal. I select the green herb and then have to find the red herb. The scrolling takes forever. In the older games, it was like 2 seconds. Also, I feel the Resident Evil way of using items was always weird. First, you find an item and check it, and then it asks if you want the item. Well, considering I went to pick it up, I'd say I fucking want it. Imagine if that's how it worked in real life. Where the fuck did my beard go? When you get to the kid's house, you find the girl hiding in a room. It turns out the boy went to the umbrella factory, so you have to go find him. How he made it there is beyond me, because there's all kinds of hunters, dogs, and those big trench coat bastards. The umbrella factory has some of the worst music I've ever heard. And Resident Evil's known for having great music. It's creepy and unsettling. But this sounds like somebody bought a $2 Casio at the Goodwill and threw it down the stairs. How were they okay with this? Was there any quality assurance? So after running through a ton more monsters, you find the kid. He's being attacked by a hunter monster, so you shoot it. And now the kid loves you.
Please forgive me.
What are you talking about? It's not your fault. Vincent is the one who caused everything. Well, I mean,
You? What do you mean? You're the detective. Your name is Ark Thompson.
What?
So it turns out you aren't Vincent. You're some dickhead named Ark Thompson, and you were acting as a spy to expose the Umbrella Corporation. The guy dressed in white who fell from the helicopter is actually Vincent. What a twist. This is where the game's writers make the lousiest attempt possible to connect this game to the Resident Evil canon.
That's right. At the request of my friend, Leon S. Kennedy, I came here to investigate. Oh, yes. I remember everything.
That's right, Leon from Resident Evil 2 is this asshole's friend. Leon was probably sending Ark there to die. Also, I find it weird he calls Leon by his full name. Who the fuck does that? And this is internal monologue. He isn't talking to anyone. So you send the kid, by himself, back to find the girl, and they're supposed to meet you at the evacuation route later. Oh, and cue that self-destruct timer.
The self-destruction system has been activated.
Now, I've only been playing about an hour, and I'm at the end of the game already. Compared to the other Resident Evil games, this one is easy as fuck. This is my first time playing through, and I'm about to beat it. Sure, I've died a couple times, but this game has continues instead of ink ribbons like in the other games. I guess that's one good thing about it. The only good thing. Anyway, the last area is the same as the rest. Find an item, open a door, and run through. This time, however, the weird sewer janitor comes to kill you because he still thinks you're Vincent. Too bad he gets killed by this Naked Claw guy. I know he's called the Tyrant, but I like Naked Claw guy better. Like every other thing in this game, he's easy. He runs around swiping at the air until he dies. Or does he? On to the next room, where the two kids are somehow already at the evacuation train waving. So let me get this straight. This kid has time to run all the way back to the house, get his sister, run all the way to the factory, and find the train, all before you do. And plus, there's monsters all over. Either these kids are really badass or Ark Thompson is a huge pussy. I'll let you decide. because I already have. To move the train, you have to run and hit a switch that's right next to it. This game just keeps going halfway with its puzzles. Why even have them? This is yet another fetch quest on the large dung heap of other fetch quests throughout the game. So you run to one end of the room, then run to the door and get to a helipad. But watch out, the naked claw guy from before is crouched on a rooftop like fucking Batman just waiting for you. He jumps down and the final boss fight begins. All he does is run around with his mouth open and swings at you. It's terrifying. Oh, sorry, I meant embarrassing. As long as you keep walking backwards and shooting, he can't hit you. What a joke! Shoot him enough times and his shoulder eyeball grows or something, and then he gets bigger. So now it's the final battle, which isn't much different from the first final battle. You run around, shoot him, he dies, or does he? You get on the helicopter, everything seems good, and you fly away. The end. Or is it? No, the monster somehow gets to your helicopter after you fly 1,000 feet up and the entire fucking island explodes. It makes no sense, but what happens next makes even less sense. So you shoot him with a missile and then shoot a missile into the other missile and now he's dead. The helicopter does the most awkward flyby and the game ends. Or does it? No, it does, for real this time. There's the credits. Oh, and to answer my question from earlier, according to the credits, there was no quality assurance. No game testers at all. And that means no one checked this game before it came out. What a surprise. After beating it, you have the option to save the guns you found during your playthrough for another run. There are different story segments depending on the route you take, but I give 2 less shits than I did before. All it changes is who gets killed by the naked claw guy. So I guess it's an attempt at adding replay value. Replay value. But is it replay value if you never want to replay it ever again? So if you have an hour and a half to spare and don't value your time on Earth at all, then you can run through it a second time. But me, I'd rather huff the anal exhaust from an elephant.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed
Oh no.
to the emergency car.
Oh, those assholes must have triggered my neighbor's self-destruct system. I gotta get out of here before everything explodes!
5 minutes until detonation. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Hey, nerd! Take this!
Boom, James.
Yes, I wanna fucking take it! Lights out, bitch! Oh, good. You made it out too. Well, thanks for destroying my fucking house! You fucks.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers, Albert Wesker, Nerd, the Angry Video Game Nerd.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
In all the annals of history, no game has ever slurped so much shit as Hide Glide. Well, actually, no, not really, because compared to the shit I play, it's pretty much intermediate diarrhea. But anyway, 8 years ago, I played the first Hide Glide. Since then, I've gotten a lot of requests to review the other Hide Glide games. The other Hide Glide games? Because the first one was so good, you gotta have more. You know, sequels to games that already suck Donkey Kong Dong, that I can't stand. I can't stand the sound of it. Hide Glide. Hide Glide. Guess we just gotta get it all out. So here's Super Hide Glide on the Sega Genesis and Virtual Hide Glide on the Sega Saturn. Virtual Hide Glide is actually a remake of the original, while Super Hide Glide is a Genesis port of the third Hide Glide game from Japan. Yes, you heard me right. This is the third installment. The second one was only in Japan. Japan should have kept them all and incinerated them. So, without further ado, let's start with Super Hide Glide. Let's pop this fucker in and get this over with. The game starts up with a collection of the most shrill noises the Genesis could possibly produce. This is the closest you could get to 16-bit nails on a chalkboard, and it's playing over one of the worst logos ever designed by humans. If you didn't already know this is a Hide Glide review, you'd have no idea what that says. So right off the bat, it's an all-out assault of the senses on two fronts. And look at that cutscene. It looks like a 2-year-old discovered Microsoft Paint. When you start, you're given the option of a character class. There's 4: warrior, thief, priest, and monk. The one thing I do like about the game is you can put up to 8 letters for your name, so I can write pretty much any curse word I like in here, like fucker or dick-faced dildo. Nah, it doesn't fit. But anyway, I'm gonna go with the classic standby. Ass! And with that, we have the last nice thing I will ever say about this game. Dear Lord, look at this. Everything looks like pixelated ass splatter. The people are nothing but a diuretic debacle moving around at 1 frame a second. I can't even tell which one I am. I mean, for the love of sweet shit-take mushrooms, and yes, like the annals of history, I know what it is. It's shit-take, but it's spelled shit-take. This game looks like the glitch gremlin had a freaky fuck fest all over it, and this isn't even a glitch. It's just how the game looks. This game looks like the original, and it's twice the bits. Supposedly, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Well, this one does jack shit! Super Hide Glide is just downright ugly, and it came out in 1990. Phantasy Star 2 came out on Genesis the same year and looks 10 times better. I mean, even Final Fantasy on the NES had better graphics than this hog vomit. So let's play the damn thing. The first thing I do is go out of the town and get my ass handed to me. Your character doesn't start with weapons, you have to buy them, so you walk all over this hodgepodge building that defies all architectural logic. Oh, and be careful when you're buying stuff, because everything in this game has weight. I understand this is commonplace in most RPGs now, but how does it make sense that a dagger weighs twice the amount of a goddamn club? Is the dagger made of solid lead? Fuck it, I'm buying a club. Ass! So it turns out I'm also supposed to stop at the general store and buy some healing items. Where's the general store, you might ask? Why, in a generic unmarked building that looks like a regular house. Seriously, how was I supposed to know that? At least the weapons store looks like an important building. The general store is tucked away in the back like it doesn't matter. And again, what's up with the weight? Why does the Japanese helmet weigh as much as a club and dagger combined? Oh, and be sure to buy some food too, because if it gets too far past lunchtime, you lose health and die of starvation. I actually timed it. It takes about 2 hours in-game before you die. So don't skip any meals in this world. The consequences could be deadly. Imagine living in this world. You're late for work, so you skip breakfast, and then 2 hours later, you're in the middle of a meeting, and you drop fucking dead in front of all your coworkers. Nothing left but a withered husk. Tragic. So now that I have all my crap, it's time to kill monsters. But not all the monsters. You gotta make sure you're only killing the evil monsters. According to the manual, killing good monsters will lower your morality and you won't become a true hero. So don't kill the slime, tree spirit, or phantom, but do kill the heavy slime, cannibal, and wraith. Makes sense, right? Except it's all in black and white and they all look the same. And for the love of God, don't kill Sarah, the kangaroo rabbit thing. So after killing a fuck ton of monsters, you can use your experience points at the temple to level up, or buy spells at the wizard's house. The first spell you get is Illusion. All it does is make everyone on the screen freak out. Also, for some reason, at 18 o'clock, everything turns yellow. I guess it's sunset, but it looks more like all the grass just dies and the world turns into a 16-bit piss puddle. I have no idea what to do. After running around for hours, and that's real life hours, not in-game, I found these 2 locations. One is this place where all it gives you is a sound test. Why would I want to walk into a random abandoned town just to hear the music from this game? The other location is this maze. I walk around and just die over and over and over in the same place. I can't figure out where to go. The townspeople just give vague hints, but no actual direction. I can't even buy armor because it weighs too much. So after dying over and over, I've realized something. I'd rather set up a slip and slide over a ruptured septic tank than play any more of it. And that's something I've never even tried yet. In conclusion, the game is shit. Literally. And yes, I mean literally. The game is actually shit. I will back up this claim by reading from a book by Harry G. Frankfurt, a professor of philosophy at Princeton University. The book is on bullshit. It does seem fitting to construe carelessly made shoddy goods as bullshit, but in what way? Is the resemblance that bullshit itself is invariably produced in a careless or self-indulgent manner that is never finely crafted? The word shit does suggest this. Excrement is not designed or crafted at all. It is merely emitted or dumped. So while the game did not actually come out of somebody's asshole, it sure came out in the same manner. Well, one good thing, you can turn off the Sega, take the game out, and place it somewhere dark and out of the way so you never have to play it again. Maybe Virtual Hydlide will be the redeemer of the series. I mean, just read the back of the box. This game is the first 3D polygon action RPG for any new generation system. It has a digitized main character for the ultimate in realism, computer graphics and 3D backgrounds created on high-tech workstations, plus a unique create a world function with over 40 billion possible combinations. That's a billion with a B, as in bullshit. So let's refresh. You take the crap factor of the original 8-bit Hydlide, doubled up to get 16-bit shit Super Hydlide, then add a whole new dimension of suckfuckery and get Virtual Hydlide. More like virtually unplayable. Oh yeah, it's on the Saturn, so I have to set the date and time. I'll let it keep thinking it's 94, so it doesn't know its cruel fate of being discontinued. Man, oh man, look at those graphics. Did someone sneeze all over the camera lens? The beginning is basically the same as the original Hydlide, where the dragon guy turns the princess into 3 fairies, just with a lot higher production values. This is kind of like Hydlide's Special Edition. To start the game, you need to create a new world. This randomly generates the layout. You still have to do the same quests in the same order, but the locations change. So, who gives a shit? The fuck? Oh, God, this can't be real. I'm wiping the steam from my glasses. The steam that's rising from this pile of goat shit. It looks like the deformed bastard child of CDI Zelda and Ocarina of Time Zelda. Why does he walk like that? What a sight to behold. Never in all my years have I gazed upon something as grotesquely hideous as virtual hydlide. You have every shade of the vomit rainbow, and the barf rainbow too. And the first enemies I face are trees. I'm fighting the scenery! Man, what a letdown. And the back of the box did such a good job hyping it up. If you can't believe the back of a box, who can you trust? So the game is a big fetch quest. Just follow the blue mark on the compass, grab the item you need, and run to the next. And just like in the original, I have to grab the crucifix from the graveyard to kill the vampire. In the vampire's mansion, you have to touch a bunch of balls to open a door. The camera doesn't seem to know what to do with itself, and the narrow halls really showcase the terrible controls. This place is a mess. At the end, you get to the first boss fight against the vampire. He even talks. I know what he said. All he said was bullshit. Literally. And yes, I mean literally. To quote Frankfurt again, just as hot air is speech that has been emptied of all informative content, so excrement is matter from which everything nutritive has been removed. Excrement may be regarded as the corpse of nourishment, what remains when the vital elements in food have been exhausted. In this respect, excrement is a representation of death. Okay, this book is losing me. Have you ever looked into a toilet and said, "Oh shit, I shat out a dead body"? Perhaps it is for making death so intimate that we find excrement so repulsive. Or is it perhaps because it stinks? Yeah, so just as a turd is virtually a corpse, virtual hydlide is virtually a game. But anyway, the vampire's a pushover, so hand him his ass. Hand it to him. Just make sure to equip the crucifix, then stand in front of him and swing. Yeah, kill that motherfucker. You get Tool. Well, yeah, I get Tool. They're awesome. The band. As long as I don't have to play this cold and ugly game sober as you vicariously watch me as I hold a grudge with a hooker at the... never mind, back to the game. Killing the vampire gets you the super magic lamp. You need this to light up the next dungeon. In here, you get a dark sword which shoots Hadoukens at enemies. It makes the game a lot better. Well, it makes it slightly more tolerable. This dungeon doesn't even have a boss, just a couple of chests. You get Tool again and run to the next dungeon. One thing that really pisses me off is having to run back through the dungeon after getting the item. It doesn't warp you to the beginning like in Zelda. You have to run all the way back the way you came. And the later dungeons are long as hell. Some even have more than one level. Now you get the Spectacles of Truth, which let you find secret entrances in the next area. They also turn everything red. It makes the game look like you're playing an interactive colonoscopy, which would probably be more fun. Okay, I can't take this anymore. I'll finish it after lunch. All right, nice and refreshed. Let's finish this garbage. I have to set the date every time? What's the point of a clock then? What the shit? Where's my save file? The game didn't save? Oh, that's right, the battery must be dead. Because the Sega Saturn has those watch batteries inside, you have to replace them. Yeah, it's this battery right here, 2032. Alright, I'm done running errands. Time to run some virtual errands. Thankfully, you can just enter your world code and it'll be the same layout, but you still gotta start from the beginning. You only level up after completing an objective, so killing enemies is pointless. It's just for score. You can, however, use the points you earn to buy items at a store, but they're available for free in the game, so who gives a shit? The only item you should get is the Scroll of Detect. It shows all treasure chests on the map. I ended up getting back to where I was pretty fast. On top of that, I got better items than I had on my first playthrough, so that's cool, I guess. Actually, no, it isn't. The fairy armor looks real stupid. Honestly, any armor you get looks stupid on this guy, but it's powerful, so whatever. Okay, now I'm back where I left off, and it's at this point the game gets tedious as all hell. Every dungeon from here on out wraps all over the place. This is the volcanic cave. It's filled with enemies and fireballs. Even stepping on the lava marks hurt you. Oh, great, now I'm cursed. Once you find a cursed item, you can't unequip it. This really sucks because you need the dragon shield to kill the mad dragon boss. Oh man, I'm so dead. I don't want to have to run through this again. Do I have anything helpful? Scroll of herb? Here goes nothing. Alright, that actually worked. I turned the cursed shield into an herb. Now to kick the dragon's ass. Suck on that, you fuck. So more advice. On top of the Scroll of Detect, also get the Scroll of Herbs so you can turn everything into herbs. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta run back through this hellhole. Oh, and great, I died. Wait, I'm back at the entrance? All this time, I've been running all the way back through the dungeon when I could just kill myself to teleport? Okay, well now I know. Luckily, I found that out before the next dungeon. It's not too crazy of a maze this time, but there's multiple levels to it. Each maze takes you to an elevator down. Another nifty trick I learned is on the map screen, you can turn your character. Just point him in the right direction and hold the run button. And most of the enemies stay out of your way, too. I'm killing this dungeon. Oh shit, minecart, whoa! What would a Hide-Lide remake be without ripping off something from Indiana Jones? All you need is the music from the first Hide-Lide, and it's perfect. The boss of this dungeon is the Evil Mage. He floats around twiddling his thumbs or something. He's easy, but you can only hit him when he touches the ground. Get comfy because he takes forever. Oh, come on. Will you just land so I can shoot your ass? Come on! Fuck down. Get the fuck down. Get the fuck down! It feels like I'm talking to a cat. Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! So after about a week and a half of him floating around, you beat him and get the next item. It's the Tears of the Earth. The world is crying this game is so bad. You use them at this sign, and you make the Fortress of fucking Solitude appear. I'm guessing that's where Superman 64 lives. This area looks confusing, but it's actually the easiest part to navigate. Just get to the center. The next part is what's annoying. It's a maze surrounding floating blocks. It's tedious, but eventually you get through and fight the boss. That I can't hurt? What? I'm hitting him with everything I got! This is bullshit! See, I hit him with that too. So it turns out the only way to beat this boss and the final one is to find the Sword of Light. That's fine and all, but maybe I could have been told that? Nowhere in the game does it ever mention needing the sword, or really any item other than the ones you get from boss fights. In fact, the game holds your hand throughout, giving you a marker to the objective at all times. The sword can be found in that part with the floating blocks, in a random chest, so you have to use the scroll Detect and check every goddamn chest until you find it. How was I ever supposed to know this? I had to look it up because I couldn't believe the game would just fuck me over like that. But it did. When I looked up that information, I learned something else too. The knight's name is Jim. Jim the knight. Well, Jim doesn't sound like a knight. It sounds like a nerd. So you get the light sword, you Hadouken the monster, the building falls down and the fairies save you. Wow, look at that. He looks like Poochie the rockin' dog going back to his home planet on The Simpsons.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
This is the final level, thank God. Now you're actually playing a colonoscopy. It starts with you fighting the vampire again, but this time he has bats that swarm all over you. He's still kind of easy, you just can't bum rush him like last time. After him, you fight the mage, but this time he flies in 2 directions. Whoa. After you beat these 2 assholes, it's on to the dragon guy, Viralis, which sounds like boner medication. It's the same shit. You keep hot-duking him, he dies, you win, cue that beautiful FMV, and the fairies turn back into the princess who looks like she just got off the set of a hair metal video. Wait, what? Did she just look at the camera? Is she related to the princess in Sonic 06? Thankfully, Virtual Highlight is over. The credits play, and you get the list of shame set to some shitty stock JPEGs of the countryside. You wasted precious hours of your life to give yourself eye strain and motion sickness, and all you get is a fucking congratulations screen. Well, at least they spelled it right. Anyway, Virtual Highlight is literally bullshit. Oh, that's right. Where did I throw that book? Well, whatever. I don't have an ending planned anyway, so... Commodore, once the most popular name in the home computer industry. Throughout the 80s, it held its own against industry giants and etched its place in video game history with the VIC-20, Commodore 64, and Amiga line of computers. Though sadly, as time went on, the company went from competing with the likes of Apple and IBM to just becoming BM. After the video game crash of the 80s, companies emerged like Nintendo and Sega to pick up the pieces and resurrect the dying industry. Commodore would try to hang in there, but it ended up crumbling like week-old cat barf on a carpet. So what went wrong? How could a company that once ruled the home computer industry be reduced to a small footnote in video game history? You want to know the answer? The Amiga CD32. Yeah. This thing was the straw that broke the camel's back, the shit-caked baby wipe that ruptured the septic tank. After declining sales in the late 80s and early 90s, Commodore decided to take a stab at console production. The CD32 was released in Europe and Canada in September of '93 and slated to release in the US early the next year. But guess what? It never happened. Commodore wasn't allowed to release it in the US until they paid $10 million in back-owed patent royalties. On top of that, the system was discontinued only 8 months after being released, bankrupting the company. This console is such a joke that it ruined one of the biggest computer companies of all time in less than a year. Even if it did come out in the US, the original retail price for this monstrosity was $400, and that's in '93. Nowadays, with inflation, ballpark estimate that equals almost $700. You could buy 2 PlayStation 4s for that price. What were they thinking? Who in their right mind would buy this when you can get a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis for less than half the price? And because I'm the nerd, I'm gonna have to check out a stack of these games. Look at this. You can't make this stuff up. But somebody did. Oh, and after this, you gotta wash your hands because you can get pink eye from touching all this fecal matter. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, and then you gotta adapt it. It's gonna adapt my swears. Fucking bloody cunt. Bollocks. Wank. Wank. Arse. Bollocks. Cunt. Fuck. What is this? Wait, the words are upside down. Oh, wait. No, the controller's upside down. All right, well, let's try Dangerous Streets. Now that is ass. Where's the fucking power button? Oh, on the back? Come on. What the fuck? It won't start. It won't start. 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 How do you start? Oh, that's perfect. I have to hold the disc hatch down just to get the game to spin. What, did I really expect this thing to work? I don't even want to play this piece of fuck to begin with, let alone one-handed holding the thing down to get it to function. There we go, the brand new CD32 add-on. A paint can. It's like the hillbilly cousin of the 32X. So here we go, the first game on the garbage pile, Dangerous Streets. Press the fire button. Okay, well, which button is that? Is it the 312 button, or the curly arrow button, or the arrow pointing at the line button, or the square button? Have they ever seen the fucking alphabet? They could have just called it ABCD. I'll just call it green, yellow, red, blue. So if you guessed the fire button was the down arrow pointing at the line button, you win a prize. And that prize is footage of the shittiest fighting game ever made. Right off the bat, this is possibly the worst group of fighting game characters I've ever seen. Looking back at Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, each game had a group of memorable characters like Ryu, Guile, Scorpion, Liu Kang. This game has futuristic Tommy Wiseau, ass cheek lady, spring shoe guy, fat guy with his pants undone, and a Native American guy taking a shit. And there's this guy who was born in Pennsylvania, which just confuses the shit out of me. This game is a complete mess. The buttons seem to do random things. The green and yellow buttons are standing punch and ducking punch. The blue one sometimes makes you kick, jump, or glow. I don't know what the hell's going on. What blows my mind is that the game came out in '94. By the time it was out, we already had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's the same year Killer Instinct came out. How in the sweet name of merciful shit could they fuck up a fighting game this bad by then? This is already one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life, and it's the first thing I popped in on this system. I don't know what to do, I just mash buttons, but the sad thing, the in-game character looks just as confused as I. And not to mention, I keep winning. Also, this game is running on what is essentially an early PC made into a gaming console. It even says 32 bits on the top of it, but it looks worse than most 16-bit games. Could you imagine spending $400 of your hard-earned dollars plus another 20 or so for this game? So I'm up to the guy from Pennsylvania, and he's the cheapest piece of shit ever. Apparently, there are special moves in the game, but good luck figuring them out. It takes a button combination just to kick. Oh, and when you lose, it's back to the beginning. No continues. I just don't get it. Do people actually set out to make a game this bad? Did someone consciously decide they wanted to take everything that had been done right in video games and empty their colonic contents all over it? The only thing I like about this game is the horrible voice samples they use for the versus screen. They're hilarious.
Joseph Capelli versus Gale, Phoenix, Tony, Luisa, Marcelo, Umbra.
All right, on to the next game. Here we go, Super Putty. Or Look Out, It's Putty? If you don't press start, the game sends you to an unskippable demo mode. Seriously, if you try to hit the start button, it just pauses the demo. Why? I hit the start button because I wanted to start the game, not pause the demo. Why would you ever want to pause a demo? If you waited this long, your punishment is you have to watch this demo. It's actually faster to reset the game. And the game itself is a drugged up fever dream. You play as a blue ball who walks around hitting mushrooms with its punching glove boner. And look up there. Pliability? Oh, of course, you know, like health, stamina, energy, pliability. So when you punch these things, for some reason, they turn into babies. And then you eat the babies. You eat the babies? Or absorb them, or whatever the hell he's doing. But if you don't, the babies explode! This game is fucked up! The sound in this game is atrocious. The sound of the babies crying, the sound when you get hurt, the jumping sound, the constant boinging. I'm going fucking mad, I tell you!
Too bad.
Okay. Well, enough of this. Next up, we got Morph. It starts off with this horrifying cutscene. This weird kid shows up at this creepy old man's house, and it looks kind of like Doc and Marty if they were crossbred with the Minions. So the kid stands on a teleporter, so they're doing the fly thing, and the whole thing blows up, turning you into a ball that can shapeshift. Yeah. So the game's basically a puzzle platformer where you can transform into different kinds of balls that each have a different ability. You have to find a specific item in each level and complete it without using too many transformations. So it's kind of a neat idea. Maybe if it wasn't on the CD32. Next, we got Naughty Ones. It starts with this cutesy cutscene set to the creepiest possible music. Then, at the menu, it has this upbeat reggae tune. The game's pretty much a basic action platformer. Just find the key in each level and then head to the door. It's not too bad. It kind of has a bubble bobble feel to it with the graphics and the gameplay. However, one annoying thing is it uses up as the jump button. Actually, of all the games I've talked about so far, only one game didn't use up as the jump button, and it was the fighting game, the only one where jump should have been up. So anyway, this one's okay and gets a pass. On to the next piece of technological torture, beavers. They're a hip band of beavers. Beaver Mania hits the UK, but that pisses off the rabbits. So here we go, here's another cute cutscene. A beaver comes home to his family. He just puts his lunchbox or whatever it is on the floor, he picks it up, he puts it down again, and oh, this mean rabbit comes in and oh, shit. I'm not seeing this, man. No, that didn't happen. The fuck, dude? Oh, shit! Oh! Boy, is that jarring! It's like these games can't figure out if they want to be cartoony and cute or fucking horrifying. Oh, what the hell? Oh, and look how fast the game starts. If you don't keep up, you die. The edge of the screen kills you. Shit flies at you from any which way, and pretty much anything you can touch can hurt you. You're supposedly able to do a spin attack, but it doesn't work at all. I can't even beat the first level. And if I didn't already make it clear, the purpose of the game is to rescue your wife, but I don't think this beaver's getting his wife back because I can't put myself through any more of this torture. Well, that's it. If you're expecting me to make some kind of beaver joke, no, because this is high-class internet content. Now enough of this poop, fuck, shit, diarrhea, cunt, fuck. Well, now that I got that out of my system, now it's time to move on to the real meat of the CD32. Any fan of first-person shooters knows about the big fucking game of them all, Doom. But have you ever played Gloom? Not at all like Doom. No, this is a totally different thing. This is Gloom. When the game starts, it plays this weird, happy-ass music. Naughty Ones has scary-ass music, but Gloom has happy-ass music, and it plays before every single level. Also, is he gonna kill those guys, or are they his squad mates? They look like they're on the same team. Why not make them a different color if they're an enemy? So, you play as this Space Marine type guy and kill other Space Marine guys. It looks horrible, and it's like the main character is severely nearsighted. You collect bouncing balls for guns and baby bottles for health. What, is this like a spoof? Like PO'd? Yeah, the game where you're shooting butts. But that was done on purpose as a parody. This one, it's just a fucking watered down piece of shit Doom knockoff. This game's nice and gory though. Every time you shoot someone, they explode into a million pieces. Sadly, it's repetitive as all hell and every level looks the same. In the first one, you just run to the other side of the room and it's over. Imagine completing a whole level of Doom in 10 seconds. Oh, but in the second level, you have to hit a switch before you run to the door. Oh, now it's giving Doom a run for its money. When you pause, you can change some of the graphics options. This makes the game run smoother, but it looks even more blurry. Also, you can get rid of the ceiling and floor. I guess it's supposed to make the graphics look better, but it still looks like I ate broken glass and then shit it into my eyeballs. And I must emphasize, this was a PC company. This game is giving me a headache to look at, and I think my vision has actually gotten worse because of it. I'd sue for damages, but I'm pretty sure this company's gone out of business long ago. The only thing left worth noting is the violence option. You have meaty or messy. With meaty, they explode and disappear. With messy, the chunks stay on the ground. Also, it slows the game down after you kill too many people. So, yeah, Gloom is a cheap knockoff that doesn't even do a good job at being a knockoff. On to the next one. Ugh, this one's a double disc. Whoa, so much value. I should have just lit that money on fire and pissed on it. Okay, so we'll start with Diggers. Oh, it's like Lemmings or something, I think. You go this guy, click some things, then make your guy dig. It'd be more fun to actually go outside and dig a hole than play this. Fuck it, on to Oscar. Oh god, no. Flare, the same company that made Dangerous Streets. Oh, now that's a horrible character. Seems like everybody was trying to be the CD32's mascot, but being the mascot of the CD32 is like being the mascot for a porta potty company. Actually, I take that back. It would be better to be a porta potty mascot than be featured on this cockamamie console. Okay, let's start. Take 69? Really? This is the first level. They could have put take 1, but no, they chose 69 on purpose. Oh, for the love of fuck, up is jump again. I'm convinced they're playing a joke. So here he is, Oscar the something. He's not quite Sonic, he's not quite Bubsy, he's just Oscar. The game controls worse than it looks, and I keep running into shit because the backgrounds are such a hodgepodge of vomit-inducing mishmash. The enemies are practically invisible, and I can't even get a minute into the first level before getting a game over. The levels are all based on movie genres, like in Gex or Spot Goes to Hollywood. The first room is sci-fi themed, you fight robots and what looks like the dog xenomorph from Alien 3. This one's horror themed. There's dogs, chainsaws, and spooky ghosts. I can't make much progress here. On top of the shitty controls, Oscar runs like he's on ice. This game isn't the worst I've played so far, but that's not a compliment. It's like comparing solid shit logs to a diarrhea puddle. They both smell awful, they're both disgusting, but I guess I'd rather pick up a turd log and toss it out than have to sop up diarrhea with a paper towel. Next. Bubba and Sticks, a game by Core Design. Let's find out what's worse, this or Angel of Darkness. Sticks kinda looks like Bizarro Shit Pickle. The artwork looks pretty cool, and the music is alright, so maybe this will actually be a hidden gem. Oh please, let it be good. Oh my god. Oh my god! It's actually good! Pretty good. The gameplay is kind of like a puzzle platformer where you have to use sticks to get past obstacles, like using him to pry this rock up or sticking him into the wall to use as a platform. This part right here is pretty funny. You have to get close to these weird guys without interrupting their conversation and then throw Sticks, the character, at them. The graphics are really nice too. It's cartoony and colorful, but not like the rainbow vomit from Oscar. This is actually a good game, at least until I get to the second level and I can't figure out what to do. And I don't have the time to figure it out, so, oh well, I guess we gotta move on. But I can give this one the nerd stamp of not shit. But now, we're getting down to the shitty gritty. We have Surf Ninjas. Moto Surf!
Moto Surf!
That's right, they made a Surf Ninjas tie-in for this thing. Nice word art title screen. Is this a game or a 4th grade book report? Oh, and it's by Flare again. I'm guessing they were the LJN of the CD32. Well, now I know it's gonna suck. The first thing you have to do is choose whether you want to hear sound effects or music. Can I have both? The game barely resembles anything from the movie, and when my complaint is that the game is not like Surf Ninjas, then you know we're really in bad shape. Who are you supposed to be? This isn't even a character from the movie. Is it supposed to be Ernie Reyes Jr.? Or maybe it's Rob Schneider? It's not confirmed, but it's probably true that this was actually another game before they turned it into Surf Ninjas, because that's what you want to do. If you have a shitty game, might as well make it Surf Ninjas. They probably just had some generic beat 'em up on a hard drive and slapped the Surf Ninjas name on it last minute. Kind of like Doki Doki Panic, but it's Dookie Dookie Panic. Oh, that's another real shitty shit joke, but not as shitty as a shitty movie-based game based off a shitty movie, Surf Ninjas. Yeah, I know I talk about shit a lot, but I'm staring at shit. If you were looking at shit, would you be talking about butterflies or something? No, I'm looking at shit. We're talking shit. Okay, so I gotta calm myself down a little bit. The gameplay is monotonous. I walk around fighting ninjas who kick my ass most of the time. Oh, and in most games, you die when the health bar goes down, right? Well, in this game, you die whenever the game decides you're dead. Look at this, I have life left, but I'm fucking dead. Most of the time, your attacks don't even register, and when they do, it takes forever and a day to kill the ninjas. Look at this. What is going on here? Oh, wait, what? Did I just rip his heart out? That doesn't happen in the movie, does it? I gotta find out. I'm gonna make a quick call here. This is Cinemassacre Video, where selection is the name of the game. This is James speaking. How may I help you? Yeah, okay, I just want to ask you a quick question. Sure thing, go right ahead. Have you ever watched the movie Surf Ninjas? I just had a chat with a bunch of friends all about that. Did you know that the costume designer was the same in Street Fighter the movie? That would explain all the blue camouflage. Okay, look. I just want to ask a fucking question. In the movie Surf Ninjas, does anybody rip someone's heart out? Kano style. No, I don't think that happened in the movie. See? I knew it. Hello? Hello? Wow. What an asshole. So, back to this shit. Oh, and guess what? What button do you think the jump button is? Take a guess. Up. Again. But this time, they took it a step further. Jump hurts you. Yes, I am not kidding. When you jump, you get damaged. What moron decided it was a good idea to make jumping hurt you in a ninja game? So the whole point is to find items and bring them to the right places. Like here, you need to bring wax to the surfer who gives you change to give to the hobo so you can get into his alley. The last guy in my way is this dude with a truck who keeps asking you to bring him boxes. Oh, come on, man, there's a box right near you. Are you so fucking lazy you can't just walk over and get the box? Oh, but that's only one of them because there's several scattered all over the place and you have to find them all. So after searching hours for the last one, I found that you need to get a key and then go down to the